The Red Deer International Airshow. Well, we're coming up to a restart of air shows, and the question is always, how did we start before when the air show first began? Well, there was actually an air show here right after the base or the airport part turned civilian, and that was in 1966, and it was the Alberta Air Show at that time. But Red Deer, or YQF, was granted funds to improve the runway, and we went up to 5,528 feet in length and about 98 feet wide, so it was a big improvement to the runway that we used to have here. And then they put a terminal building in. The Red Deer Flying Club has always been a very strong supporter and promoter of the Red Deer Airport. And they got together and said, we need to have an air show. And a meeting was held in the basement of Dr. John Radomski, who was a Flying Club member at the time, and he might even been a president, I'm not sure. But John was involved and invited us all to his house, and there was a group of about 7 or 8 Flying Club members, myself included, and we met and said, let's have an air show. Now, the interesting thing was we had started this whole idea sometime in the early spring, like March, maybe as late as April, and we were making plans to have an air show in July. And little did we know about air shows is that to try to book any acts, you had to be at the International Council of Air Shows, the ICAS convention in Las Vegas, back in December of the year before you would even think about booking acts. But we didn't know that, and we said, okay, what acts will we look at hiring? And the name Bob Hoover came up, of course, front and center, because Bob was a very famous airshow pilot and had a tremendous history in aviation, both in the military and civilian world. So Ron Schmidt was the one who said, I'll contact Bob Hoover and we'll just see where this goes. And Ron contacted Bob, and Bob says, oh, you're not planning on a show in 83, are you? And this is the year that we were planning this, is 1983. And he said, if you can wait a year, I'll help you put a show together with acts that are good acts, they're young acts, they're less expensive. Some of them are close enough in the northwest of the States that it wouldn't cost much to travel. And I'll help you put a show together, and I'll bring you a couple of acts myself. If you let me help you, and we'll go for 84. So the committee met again and decided that was likely wise counsel. We would wait a year and start in 1984. Bob brought along his P-51 Mustang and his Shrike Commander, and the announcer for our air show flew the Shrike in for Bob. And so we had 3 of the requirements met right there. And he booked some other young acts for us, and we had a tremendous show that very first year in 1984. And that's how it got started.